What's going on, everyone? DJ Fitness Dinos Reviews, and together with me, making a comeback,
Apollon Nutrition, Hooligan, Bare Knuckle.
Bare Knuckle, people, Bare Knuckle. Steam-free pre-workout, yeah, hooligans, brother or sister, nephew. Listen, people, I'm gonna take you through the label of this thing. I'm gonna try and refresh your memory. What's different about this version 3 than the now famous version 2 Hooligan Bare Knuckle? And then I'm actually gonna share with you my personal experience using this one over the last few days. And then towards the end of the video, as usual on this channel, I'm gonna give you my final verdict should you give a shit. And all I'm gonna ask in return is that you hit that like button. Okay guys, so Apollon Nutrition, the brand, don't need no introductions on this channel. Definitely when it comes to pre-workout, this is the brand that brought you Assassin, the strongest, hardest hitting pre-workout out there. Specifically the version 6.5, which was a collaboration I did with Apollon Nutrition, and then obviously Hooligan with the Steam version, which has everything that you want in a pre-workout. A solid, an amazing pump formula, focus, energy for days, plus 600 plus milligrams of caffeine. And then obviously a bunch of other stuff, fat burners, everything. I mean, this company is on a tear. Anyway, people, Bare Knuckle was their steam-free formula. This is actually version 3. So that version 1, which actually was literally looked like Hooligan minus the caffeine. So it had beta-alanine, it had a pump formula, it had a power formula, it had everything. Really complete formula. And then they took out a version of Hooligan Bare Knuckle. That's version 2 that all of you miss. That had just a pump formula, like a solid pump and power formula, actually. Pump and power. And it had a very loaded formula, and that shit made you swole as fuck and pumps for days. I'm gonna link to that review below if you're now reminiscent around that formula, because a lot of you have been pinging it since it went out of production. When the fuck is Bare Knuckle coming back? Anyway, it's not coming back, that version 2, because Apollon Nutrition every year they try and sort of update their pre-workout formulas. That might be too much, by the way, Apollon. Might be too much. Version 2 was amazing. Not necessarily everything needs an improvement, but they're trying to up the ante, and every year. Seriously, you have to give it to them. That can't be a cheap exercise. Anyway, so now with Apollon Bare Knuckle, with a new design, with this Bare Knuckle on it, they come out with a formula that is super loaded, and I'm going to take you through it with focus ingredients. So they basically took the Apollon Nutrition Hooligan Bare Knuckle version 2, which had a super solid pump formula. It was an amazing pump formula. Can't create a better pump formula, to be honest. They changed it a bit. I'm going to tell you what they did. And they added tons of nootropics. Basically saying, hey, how about a steam-free experience on top of a great pump formula? And that was the promise, or that is the promise of version 3. So if I take you through this, they have 20 servings on this big-ass tab. Let's go through the pump formula first. So you have L-citrulline at 8 grams. Yeah, 8 grams. And this is not citrulline malt, it's pure L-citrulline, 8 grams. You have beta-9 hydrous at 2.5 grams. I think there was 3 grams in the previous version, there's 2.5 here. Beta-9 hydrous is going to help you with pumps, it's going to help you muscle protein synthesis, power output, a bunch of other stuff. Good ingredient. Then they have agmatine sulfate at 1.5 gram. I like it. Agmatine plus citrulline in the right amounts with the right combination always hits me right as far as pumps. Then they added Vaso 6. I love Vaso 6. They added it at 600 milligrams, which is the clinical dose. Love Vaso 6. Always got amazing pumps with Vaso 6. Always saw more vascularity with Vaso 6. Just love Vaso 6, specifically in a pump-free formula, so they added it here. And then in addition to that, you have Himalayan pink salt at 250 milligrams, which is going to help you, generally speaking, with that feeling of swollenness and bringing more water into your muscle. Okay, so that's the pump formula. So it's a very similar approach to the previous version. To a large extent, you could look at it, they removed S7, they removed the glycerol that caused all these clumping, they added Vaso 6, they kept the amount of citrulline, they kept mostly the betaine, and like I mentioned, they kept the Himalayan salt. But on top of, and the agmatine, but on top of what I just mentioned, which is, by the way, a freaking loaded pump formula, right? You could stop just here and you would have a brilliant pump formula on label. They added L-tyrosine at 2 grams. That is a lot of L-tyrosine. That's a focus ingredient. They added lion's mane at 1 freaking gram. Like Hooligan. I think Hooligan, the steamed version, has 1 gram of lion's mane. Great nootropic focus, like mood elevation type formula. I love the amount, love the ingredient with L-tyrosine. But then they didn't stop there. They also added alpha GPC at the clinical dose of 600 milligrams. One of my favorite types of choline. Alpha GPC always got me into a good place as far as focus. So this is a freaking loaded nootropic formula minus the stimulants, right? If you just took the like the L-tyrosine, the alpha GPC, the lion's mane, and you would put it in a formula together with 200 milligrams of caffeine, you have a great nootropic. If you took just the pump formula here and you just use it as a pump formula, you have a great pump formula. Apollo Nutrition doesn't save money usually on these formulas, and usually they're super loaded. This is as loaded. Okay, people, labels are just fucking labels. You either feel it or you don't, right? Labels are just fucking labels. So listen, people, I actually tried this in different combinations. I tried it standalone with beta-alanine. I tried it in combination with another nootropic, with actually Overtime by Apollo Nutrition, to feel how it feels as far as a pre-workout experience. And I did try it also in combination with just pure caffeine. 3 times, 3 different experiences. Wanted to feel how this thing, you know, sort of adds up. How does it feel? Listen, people, let's start with the flavor. So the flavor I have, I don't know if they come out with more than one flavor. I have peached iced tea. So, you know, Apollo Nutrition pre-workouts, flavor is not their thing. Lucky for me, at least I don't give a flying fuck about flavors in pre-workouts, because you sip it for 1 second and you're supposed to feel the effect for hours. That's the return on investment on fucking flavor. 1 second versus few hours, right? So that's the ratio I give a shit about. I care more about performance. But this flavor here is sort of okay when you drink it. You say, hey, actually this does taste like iced tea, but it does have an aftertaste. It's not super nasty, but it does have an aftertaste. It is drinkable, guys. Drinkable. It's not good, it's drinkable. That's it. That's it for the fucking flavor. Let's go into the experience, because that's why we are here. So listen, people, as far as the experience, let me start with the pumps, because that's really the main event here. As far as the pumps, in all 3 experiences, this shit delivers on fucking pumps. Just like it delivered. A bit of a different experience from the previous Hooligan Bare Knuckle. Less about, so there's this feeling of mind-muscle connection, which is very apparent. Way more vascularity with this one compared to the previous one. A bit maybe less on the swollenness that was the glycerol and a couple of other things. But the mind-muscle connection of the feeling of the hard pumps. These are harder pumps, more vascularity, fucking delivers. You just feel pumped. And very similar to the previous version, you just feel like you're pumped even 2-3 hours after you took this shit. So you just not just walking around swole and feeling pumped, you just feel pumped for 2-3 hours, which is just a great feeling, right? Beyond the benefit of pumps, of, you know, shuttling nutrients to your body and shit like that, it just feels good to be pumped. Yeah. Okay, so that's as far as the pumps, and this was very consistent over the 3 use cases that I mentioned. I did use this standalone together with beta-alanine just to see how it feels as a steam-free formula. I love it. I love it. Are you as focused and energized as a steam version like Hooligan? No, you're not, motherfucker. You're not. This doesn't have caffeine, doesn't have stimulants. But I definitely felt like this is a solid choice. Together with beta-alanine, which is fucking cheap for me. For some of you who don't like the tingling, you can use it just as is. It was a solid replacement for a steam formula. I enjoyed, which is very strange for me, I'm a steam junkie. I enjoyed training of this. This, together with beta-alanine, for me was an amazing steam-free formula to cycle off stimulants, which I do very often, surprisingly enough. Otherwise, I would probably kill myself. Okay. As far as the use with Apollo Nutrition Overtime, I loved it. This felt like a fucking pre-workout. This plus Apollo Nutrition Overtime, which I'm assuming, I mean, you can replace this with any other fat burner, maybe an Apollo Nutrition fat burner or some other fat burner on my top list of fat burners. I'm going to link to that below. Really liked it. Man, I could totally see how you combine this with a fat burner that you like, or combine this with a nootropic that you like, and you don't need to buy sort of a stimulant version. And then the last version that I did combine this with a super steam pre-workout. So I took a clean steam pre-workout that doesn't have shit on top of that. For example, like I wouldn't combine this with Apollo Nutrition Hooligan. Apollon Nutrition Hooligan has a lot of what you have here, plus the stimulant, so it doesn't necessarily make any sense. But I did combine this with the steam formula that has zero pump formula and actually just very hard stimulants, and I added the nootropics and the pump, and that felt fucking great. I just loved it. So listen, people, bottom line here, if you're looking for a pump formula, you got it. If you're looking for a steam-free replacement for your steam pre-workout when you cycle off, you got it. If you like pumps that last for a long time and you like vascularity, you got it. Listen, Apollon Nutrition nailed it with version 3 just like they did with version 2. I love it. If you're in the market, if you like version 2, you're not going to be disappointed. This is where this thing lands. Listen, people, as far as where you can find it, at least at the launch date, you can only find it on the Apollon website. I'm going to link below to the page on Fitness Deal News, where you can find the latest deals, including a launch coupon that I'm going to get you from Apollon Nutrition, so you can go there for the first few days, and then the link is going to change and you're going to find the best prices from all over the web, so you can save money, because that's what we do in Fitness Deal News. We don't sell anything, we just help you save money. Listen, people, if this review was helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel to see more reviews like this, because this is what we do here. We help you make smart decisions about the supplements that you buy.